with the briefing again. Phil Grigsby here with Dave Schlotzauer just kind of shadowing me. And so we'll dive into this. It's going to be pretty short and sweet overall. All right, so here's the quick situation overview for the next week. The good news is through Saturday, we're expecting a fairly typical summer weather pattern. However, there will be a marginal risk of some severe storms potentially developing Saturday afternoon. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. Damaging winds are going to be the main concern if we do get any storms that kind of perk up and get on the stronger side. Outside of that, then as we get into Sunday and really through Thursday of next week, it looks like we're really going to get super moist again, and so the threat of heavier rainfall and potential flooding concerns, street flooding concerns and stuff could rise as we get into next week. Right now, there's lower confidence on that. Not low confidence, but definitely not high confidence yet, because it's going to depend a lot on exactly where a frontal boundary ends up stalling over the southern portion of the United States. So confidence is going to increase over the next few days through this weekend, basically, on exactly where this front's going to stall and where the heavier rain threat could set up. And one bright spot, at least, is that the drought conditions that we've had over our area have begun to ease with all of the recent rainfall that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. So this is the greatest thing that we love to see this time of year. The tropical weather outlook has no new tropical cyclones expected over the next 5 days. And honestly, looking at the model guidance, there's nothing that we're seeing out for the, all the way through the end of next week. So that's great news. Tropics are quiet and no impacts are expected to the area. So if you look at the severe weather outlook, this is for Saturday. This is the day 3 outlook, and you can see where the marginal risk of severe weather is, basically draped from southwest Mississippi across the North Shore and into coastal Mississippi. So that's going to be the primary concern area, and peak timing is still going to be in the afternoon hours on Saturday. That's when we typically get our biggest thunderstorms to develop. And the primary concern is going to be damaging winds, which is pretty typical for any severe weather threat during the summer months. We could get some wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour, and that would be enough to, down large tree branches and possibly knock out power and maybe cause some damage. So that's going to be the main concern that day. Now, this is the storm total rainfall that we're expecting from today all the way through next Thursday. So take that with a grain of salt. This isn't like a one-day total or anything like that. This is going to be over the entire forecast period here during this entire week. But you can see that there's some pretty decent rain totals, especially right now we're thinking along and south of the I-10-12 corridor, where we have between 2 and 6 inches of rain forecast over the next week, with the heaviest amounts right now projected to be along coastal Louisiana. But like I said before, the confidence in this forecast is I'd say on the low to medium side, because it's going to depend on exactly where the front is going to set up as it stalls over the area on Sunday and then kind of lingers into the middle of next week. If the front is a little farther north, then the heavier rain threat may be focused more up towards southwest Mississippi as opposed to the coast. So take this, into account, but don't latch onto a specific area, because these could change, these numbers could change. But the potential is there that we could see some locally heavy rainfall. And the one big thing is that the atmosphere looks very, very conducive for high rainfall rates. Rainfall rates, up in that 2 inches per hour range, which, as we all know, can start to cause some street flooding issues, especially in our more low-lying and drainage-challenged areas here in southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi. So we may have some street flooding concerns that begin to pop up on Sunday, and each day that could be that risk that we have a street flooding issue pop up somewhere all the way through Thursday. So just keep that in mind. I know this isn't the greatest graphic, but we don't have any outlook products per se going out that far. But just keep that in mind that next week will be wet. And then on the flip side, the rain that we have seen has really started to ease our drought conditions that we've been seeing pretty much all spring and into early this summer. There's still a little bit of a moderate to abnormally dry drought status along coastal Louisiana, south of New Orleans, and then stretching up across the Atchafalaya Basin and areas around Baton Rouge and points west. Otherwise, the drought has completely ended for coastal Mississippi, and the North Shore. So that's good news. We don't have any areas in severe or extreme drought anymore. And honestly, with the rainfall that is projected to occur over the next week, if that does occur, then I doubt that we'll really see any place in drought by the time the next update comes through next week. So that part of our impact is pretty much ending now. So all right, here's the quick summary of impacts then. Basically, like I said before, we're kind of expecting a typical summer weather pattern through Saturday. There might be a little bit of a better chance of seeing, a storm or two that could turn severe on Saturday, especially during the afternoon hours, and mainly for areas stretching from southwest Mississippi across the North Shore and over towards coastal Mississippi. If we get anything, it's going to be those winds that could, knock down some tree limbs and cause some issues like that. We do have the threat of heavier rainfall and the potential for some flooding concerns to develop on Sunday and continue through Thursday of next week. Confidence is going to increase on that flood threat over the next few days. It's like I said, it's kind of a low to medium confidence right now, but it should increase as we get a better idea of where this front is going to stall over the Gulf South. And on the flip side of that, the recent rains that we've seen have begun to ease the drought conditions, and I would expect that trend to continue over the next week, given the rainfall that we're expecting.